We're talking with Mark Reynolds of the Hashknife Pony Express ride. Mr. Reynolds is the captain of the Navajo County Sheriff's Posse. Upcoming ride in just a few days, riders carry the mail from Holbrook to Scottsdale. It is a tradition going back a lot of years. Mr. Reynolds, who's credited for reviving this ride?
Well, Roy Downing had an idea in 1959 to write a letter to then Governor Paul Fannin, inviting him to come up to the Hashknife Stampede Rodeo in Holbrook. And they carried a letter in a satchel up over the Mogollon Rim. That was before there was a road there, and down into Phoenix, and delivered it to him. And then the next year, the Parada del Sol, Scottsdale JCs asked them if they would come and kick off their Parada del Sol celebration down in Scottsdale, and we've been doing it ever since.
How many individuals ride on this annual affair, and what?
Well, between about 24 to 25 actual riders. We have approximately 60 people that go that support the cooks, and we have the sheriff's office personnel in the Holbrook City that they escort us all the way down.
What kind of qualifications are there to be able to ride?
They're members of the Navajo County Sheriff's Posse Mounted Search and Rescue in Holbrook, and we have a few guest riders that we've taken along through the years. But mostly they're volunteers from Navajo County Sheriff's Posse Search and Rescue.
How many miles from start to finish?
Approximately 200 miles.
Is this all done with outstopping? Is it continuous or no?
Well, no. The first day, we're going to leave next Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 8th, and we will ride from Holbrook to Payson. And then we will arrive at the Payson Post Office at 4:45, and we'll put the mail up for the night, and then we'll spend the night in Payson, and then Thursday we will leave Payson Post Office at 9 a.m., and we will ride down to the Verde River, and then we will put the mail up at the Fountain Hills Post Office at approximately 3 o'clock, and we will camp out on the Verde, and then on Friday morning we'll have breakfast on the Verde open to the public, and then we will leave the Verde River at approximately 9 a.m., and we're going to ride to the Museum of the West on 1st Street and Marshall Way, arriving there at 12 noon, delivering the mail at the Museum of the West.
How far does each rider go? Is this a set number of miles that each rider has to ride?
Well, in the olden days, it used to be 3 or 4 miles at a time, but we've shortened it up to a 1 mile relay. We have old railroad bags that were given to us, 24 of them, and we fill them full of mail, and then we hand off that mail bag between the riders. And once the mail leaves the post office in Holbrook at 8 o'clock, it does not stop until we get to Payson. And along the route, we have a mail crew that hand stamps our cachet and hand cancels the letter. That mail crew is headed by Jim Mobley and Bill Perkins, and they pack the mail, and then Jerry Young goes along the route, and he switches out the mail bags from Holbrook to Payson, all the way down the route to Scottsdale.
We're talking with Mark Reynolds, the captain of the Navajo County Sheriff's Posse, riding along Highway 87, of course, on the horse, carrying the mail bags. What kind of reactions do you get from motorists?
Well, a lot of times they slow up and they want to know what's going on, and we explain to them that we're doing a Pony Express ride to carry official mail, and we're riding the mail from Holbrook to Scottsdale. And we've had a lot of people stop on the side of the road and take pictures through the years, and it's pretty well, it's grown quite a bit. we're a historical event. We were one of the 100 Centennial in 2012 that were chosen by the state, and this will be our 59th annual ride. We are historical. We have ridden in two. We've carried the Super Bowl. We've carried the Super Bowl ball and coin in two Super Bowls. 2 years ago, we handed Keyshawn Johnson. We rode live into the NFL experience and delivered the pick to Keyshawn Johnson. We have ridden in the Fiesta Bowl parade since the very first Fiesta Bowl. We were asked, the very first one, we were asked to be outriders for the City of Scottsdale float, and then the next year they asked us if we would like to be our own entry, and we've been going ever since.
Mr. Reynolds, what does one have to do to make sure that a letter gets into those mail bags? They want to address a friend or whatever it might be. What do they need to do, and what is the cost?
For those folks that are in Winslow, we have a barrel set up at the post office. All they need to do is address it to whoever they'd like to go to. We have mailers there for a $1 donation. We also have neckerchiefs for $5 and posters there. This year's poster for $10. All the money that's raised helps support the ride all the way down. And they can just address it, put it in that barrel, and on next Thursday, on the 2nd, we're going to pick that mail up. We have a little special program for the city of Winslow on the 2nd. We're going to go pick up the mail from the schools. Then we're going to go to the chamber, and we're going to eat lunch. And then at 1:30 on Thursday, we're going to bag up the mail, hand the bag to Walter Pacheco, who is a mail carrier for the city of Winslow. He's going to ride south and then turn east on 2nd Street. And then we're going to have 5 or 6 riders there that are going to hand this mail bag off between them and kind of show Winslow what we do and how we do it. So those people that can make it, can line 2nd Street down, and they can actually see a little bit of what we do. And we wanted to bring that to Winslow because they've been so supportive of us in the last couple of years that we wanted to do something special for them, kind of show them what we do and how we do it.
So all this is next Thursday. The Hashknife Riders will be visiting Winslow schools next Thursday morning, and then that special event taking place Thursday afternoon there at the post office, and there'll be that mock ride. It ought to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and I'd like to thank the chamber and the city of Winslow for allowing us to do this. I think it's a show of great faith between Winslow and the Hashknife.
Mr. Reynolds, as you mentioned, Walter Pacheco, a city mail carrier here in Winslow, a member of the Hashknife Pony Express. Will he be participating in this year's ride?
Yes, he will be. Yeah, him and his son-in-law, Dylan DeWitt, have been partners for the last couple of years on the ride, and they will be partners once again.
Mark Reynolds, the captain of the Navajo County Sheriff's Posse, Hashknife Pony Express. The ride will take place on Wednesday, February 8th, departing from the Holbrook Post Office. But next Thursday, a number of the riders will visit Winslow schools in the morning, and then the mock ride with the handoff of those mail bags Thursday afternoon through the streets of Winslow on 2nd Street. Thanks so much, Mr. Reynolds.